to. I don't know if you watch Keir Starmer. He's the Labour Prime Minister of the UK. He's just awful. I really got to know him by how awful he is towards freedom of speech and Tommy Robinson and things like that. But he's just done some shocking things. And I should tell you, just a week ago, there was a by-election in a Labour stronghold, and Labour lost to a party, believe it or not, the Green Party. Labour came in third. The Green Party came in first, and it was a bizarre Green Party. The leader is a Jewish leftist who's secular and anti-Israel. But the deputy leader is a hardcore Islamic fundamentalist who says things like, lend Gaza your vote. So you've got a self-hating, secular Jewish environmentalist and a hardline theocrat Muslim. That's the Green Party in the UK, and they won the by-election. The Muslim vote is now large enough in dozens of districts in the UK that they don't need to vote for Labour anymore. They don't need to vote for a Labour Party. They can win on their own as an independent or with this new Muslim, Jewish-led pro-Islam party, the Greens. It's sort of incredible. And I think that was on Keir Starmer's mind when he made his first announcement emphasizing, we didn't do it. We're not part of it. Here, take a quick look.
We must not lose sight of them and the need for peace, justice and security in Palestine and Israel. But on Iran, I want to make clear the UK was not involved in the offensive strikes of the US and Israel, and that remains the case. As many of you will know, I never supported the Iraq war back in 2003. I'm determined that we learn and follow the lessons today. However, Iran has attacked countries like us, who played no role, and many countries across the Middle East. They have made no distinction. The attacks are indiscriminate. And so what we're now doing is allowing our bases to be used for the defensive purposes of preventing those attacks and protecting innocent lives. Because that is what we need to do to support our Middle Eastern allies who have asked us for support. And that is how we protect British civilians caught in the crossfire.
So Starmer first started out by saying, we have nothing to do with it. And then he actually refused to let America use the American bases in the UK, saying it was illegal. And then they said, okay, we're not going to attack Iran, but we're going to defend against Iranian missiles. And then they banned the US from using it. It just went back and forth. And he was a flopper. And I think Donald Trump had it. Here's Trump today talking about Keir Starmer. Take a look.
I'm not happy with the UK either. That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made it for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him. And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out where we can land there. It would have been much more convenient landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours. So we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
Ouch. Yeah, I think that's pretty rough. No, Qatar and other countries who have benefited so much from the U.S. originally said the same thing too, said that Trump could not use their bases or fly over them. And what's the point of having a big airbase in Qatar if some Qatari dictator at the last minute can say, oh, you can't actually use it. Thanks for pouring billions of dollars into our economy and protecting us, but we're actually not going to let you use your own equipment. Israel obliged, I think for the first time, allowing a large number of jets to operate from Israel. I mean, what's the point of a Qatari airbase if you can't use it? But the same can be said of the UK, including the United Kingdom and the US share an island in the Pacific called Diego Garcia, and that's where a lot of the B-52s and B-1s and B-2s operate out of. It's a very strategic island. And Keir Starmer first wanted to sell that island to a Chinese-oriented African country. And then he said, no, America can't use it. And I think it was just frustrating Donald Trump, who sees Keir Starmer as an unserious man who's not truly part of the Western Alliance. But if you think Keir Starmer's bad, Spain's Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, literally banned America from operating out of their base there. Portugal, by the way, jumped in and said, oh, we'll be America's friend. Here's Trump on Pedro Sanchez and Spain. Trump basically said, all right, go it alone because no market access to you. Here's Trump on Spain.
Some of the European, like Spain, has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all, it started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and so I told him we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
You can agree or disagree with this war. I find it hard to disagree with it. It's almost cost-free to America. It's very quick. It's supported by the overwhelming number of Iranians. Iran has killed over 1,000 Americans over the last 47 years since the Islamic Revolution. By the way, they've killed 57 Canadians just in the last few years by shooting down a civilian airliner. They funded Hezbollah and Hamas, which between them have launched so many terror attacks on the world. To say that America and Israel declaring war on Iran is sort of accurate, but it's probably more accurate to say they are joining the war that Iran declared against them 47 years ago. I say again, the whole mission of the theocratic state in Iran is to destroy liberal democracy. That's why they hate America and anything American-ish. Sort of interesting to see who the friends and allies are.